Ready to start?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, you must be all wondering what this map here is all about. Well, as people who live in this city, we know that Vancouver is more than just Stanley Park, the aquarium, or Capilano suspension bridge. We have vibrant neighborhoods full of culture and full of history. And that is the Vancouver that we know. So, I am Karma, this is Jennifer, and this is Haley, and we are the consultants at Team CapU. Today's travelers increasingly want to go where the locals go, and increasingly want to know what the locals know. And therefore, especially in the face of, when bad weather hits during the off-peak season, and visitors can't go out to the outdoor activities, they want something different. And therefore we have the innovative Local 8 Festival. So in the table of contents, what we will do first is identify the problems, the opportunities and trends before taking a detailed look at the product, concept, and the target market value proposition, and then looking over at the sales and marketing and financials before finishing up with a summary. So, we have identified 3 problems. The first is that weather is not ideal during off-peak season, which is between October and March. Second is that as a result of low tourism demand, there are also low levels of revenue for the businesses. And third is that as a result of the lack of integration between sectors, there are lots of missed opportunities that could be better utilized in order to promote the shared interests of everybody within the tourism industry. And now Jennifer will speak about the market trends and opportunities.
So first of all, busy lifestyles. Consumers are leading increasingly hectic lives and being time poor while looking to be experience rich, maximizing the traveler's experiences within their trip into smaller and smaller time frames while providing a sense of ease and convenience is a must. Secondly, we have culinary tourism. More and more travelers are basing their itineraries around gastronomy. So this is more important and key to destinations marketing than ever before. Combine that with micro experiences. In the context of food and beverage, small plates and starters are popular and in demand, with over half of consumers wanting to see more sample platter style appetizers over entrees. Meanwhile, the locally sourced craft food and beverage trend, being connected to a sense of place and immersion in local culture, isn't going anywhere. Limited time offers are also desirable. Similarly, authentic ethnic foods and flavors, referred to by Google Food Trends as traveling through taste, are among the top 20 food trends for 2018. So how does it all connect? One of BC's key advantages as a destination in the world marketplace is culinary excellence. And this is much less affected by seasonality than the other appeals, nature-based and outdoors, of our BC brand, yes? So, what is the Local 8? From March 9th to April 1st, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday between 1 and 5 p.m., at selected venues within these 8 distinct hubs of local cuisine and culture, there will be offered curated tastings, samples, flights, and demos. For example, a traveler can enjoy a craft beer flight, mini donut tasting, coffee roasting demo, and tasting menus as desired in this detailed itinerary within a single afternoon. This customized route map is adapted from West Coast Sightseeing's own hop-on, hop-off itinerary, and it highlights the 8 distinct hubs to create this open itinerary, which is customizable. So who is the target market, and what is our unique value proposition? Geographically, we're focused on 4 markets: British Columbia, Ontario, California, and Washington. Each of these markets produce a significant volume of overnight visitation to Metro Vancouver in the month of March and share favorable EQ profile statistics, where the targeted profiles are no less than 42% of the total. All of these markets produce high Net Promoter Scores from BC and spend between $85 and $248 on average on restaurant food and beverage per person per trip. For visitors from Washington and California, food and beverage, visiting a restaurant or club, was ranked as their #1 activity. Demographically and psychographically, we target multiple profiles. Free spirits make up the largest proportion of these, at 28% of the total, 28% of the total. A majority of these are younger and female. We appeal to their desire for checklist sampling, ostentatious consumption, and comparison travel with varied and detailed itineraries that include the trendiest venues in the city. For authentic experiencers and cultural explorers, we provide the opportunity for self-directed exploration, authentically local food, and cultural immersion through the inclusion of historical neighborhoods and venues that are well off the beaten path. The afternoon-only, weekend-centric format of the festival will entice short-stay travelers and working locals alike. At the same time, providing transportation ensures that the festival provides ease and convenience, with the added value of sightseeing. Aside from saving time and hassle, the flexibility of the hop-on, hop-off system allows for spontaneity. The restaurant is not the destination, the hubs are the destinations. Condensed, convenient, seamless micro-experiences.
Thank you, Jennifer. So looking over to sales and marketing, we have just discussed that all of these components already exist. Simply through the festival, we are just bringing them all together with the common goal of bringing customers, or I guess visitors, into these neighborhoods and spending money. So in that, we could pool the resources in order to achieve this common goal. The branding already exists. Each neighborhood, each hub already has its own history and culture. For example, we know that it is different experience when we go into Capilano compared to Yaletown or Strathcona. As a case study, we looked at Travel Portland's winter campaign. They did something very similar, and it was very successful. They leveraged their neighborhoods because they realized that visitors want to experience what locals visit. And just like that, we can use local aid with a similar format to bring the same type of success. Of course, we will need Destination BC and Tourism Vancouver to help with developing and assisting by placing ads online and also through print media within local geographical target markets. The key collateral that would be given to visitors would be paper maps, mobile apps with branding of hubs, and including a checklist of all the different things that they could eat, drink, and experience. For example, Strathcona is a historical and often neglected little area of Vancouver that even locals are just discovering as it is starting to become an artisanal and craft hub. And now looking over to financials.
Thank you. So as Karma mentioned, our concept heavily relies on the collaboration of local tourism operators. However, there are another set of partners which are vital to the sponsorship, promotion, and funding of our concept. We have divided those into 4 general categories, which are business improvement associations, local media outlets, destination marketing organizations, and also local social media influencers. Financially, a large contributor will be the 8 participating BIAs, which reflect the 8 neighborhoods as mentioned. They are key to marketing, promoting, and funding our event. Media outlets will help us promote to a wider audience, such as the Daily Hive, Georgia Strait, and the Western Living Vancouver magazine. Question here, how many of you have access to social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, one of those? Exactly. That's why it's important to increase our exposure. For instance, here in Vancouver, the Instagrammers, the Food Gays, have over 60,000 followers. I'd now like to go back to the destination marketing organizations, such as Tourism Vancouver and Destination BC. They have the local, regional, and international partnerships, along with marketing, resources, and the finances to help contribute to our concept. Additional finances and support will come from the BC Restaurant and Food Services Association and the BC Craft Beer Guild. Now I will discuss the financials. The Local Life Festival requires a total investment of just over $107,000. This number is associated with the staff, marketing, promotional materials required. After the first year, the expenses are expected to decline as the app and website will require less external time and money. On a side note, the APIAs will help disperse the expected startup costs, along with help from Tourism Vancouver, who will directly regain their contributions through website and app advertisement. This concept is projected to produce at least $135,000 in sales and a return on investment of at least $27,000 over the initial investment. This is a modest assumption. As Karma will now summarize our event.
Thank you, Haley. So in summary, we have discussed the 3 problems identified at the beginning, and our presentation will have brought you the solution for promoting weather-independent activities, increasing incremental businesses, as well as facilitating collaboration within the different sectors. Thank you very much. Any questions from anybody?
I'm just trying to decide who was first in order.
Hey, loved the presentation. Thank you. That was such a great thing that I really liked it. Great prep work. I think it aligns perfectly with Tourism Vancouver's tourism strategy about focusing on the neighbourhoods. That was brilliant, really good. So I have a question. Say I'm a restaurant, I'm a bakery, and I need to bake little sample size things for people to come, right? Because it's like $15 a head for samplers, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've baked them, but I can't make a reservation, so I have no idea how many to make, whether anyone's going to come, whether I'm going to have to throw this away at the end of the day or not. How does that work for me as an inducer for a restaurant if I don't know who's coming and I've got no idea what kind of numbers because there's no reservation system?
So there would only be a few limited restaurants within each hub that would be promoted, just because they would be the best ones that we've identified as partners. And so through that, we know that with all the marketing and all of the promotions done by the BIAs as well as the DMOs, we know that a certain amount of publicity has been generated. And so these guests would be going to only a limited amount of these restaurants within the hubs. And so it's a good estimation of what to expect. Yes.
Might be a tough sell for the BIA to tend to represent their entire food service product. But my question is, again, I just want to commend you on a well-researched proposal. It came through in your presentation as well, but definitely in your paper. I really enjoyed how you connect the dots with the problems that you identified and what your possible solutions are from sort of an off-season challenge, as well as the connection to consumer behavior and sort of the culinary trends. I also really enjoyed the approach that Kelly was talking about as well. Sorry, Nikki. Talking about is tying it back to the neighborhoods. And I think you're onto something there. So my question is along that vein, and you actually mentioned it in your paper and your presentation. Your key to success is going to be about not making the restaurants your destination, but the neighborhood and the hubs. And I haven't really, could you explain a little bit more about how you're going to animate those hubs and make it a full visitor experience? And how will that drive new visitation into the neighborhoods and not just be something to do while you're here and you learned about it in destination?
So the answer to that, to be simple, is that there's more than just tastings that are going to happen. So within each of these hubs, there's also different businesses that do demos and can actually put on like little, for example, coffee roasting tours with the samplings. So rather than just going there to eat something, you can also go to, for example, Main Street is now known as a hub of the craft beer trend. So you could have like a little brewery mini tour. So in that way, it's a variety of experiences that are condensed into each hub, and you're not going to have the same experiences going to Main Street as you are if you're going to Westport or going to Strathcona. So each neighborhood obviously is the start, but we also do involve the branding and the actual marketing collateral itself. Because obviously Strathcona is a very different scene than Yaletown, and it has a different kind of series of appeals.
Thank you.
Group 5, and I got the microphone. Just for the record. So, see, first understand. I don't understand the ROI, so questions that I have, the BIAs are going to invest $12,000 that you mentioned into the program. Tourism Vancouver manages the event, so they incurs all the labor costs and everything else associated with it. How does the ROI work? Who gets the money and where does it go?
Yeah, so we're projecting a little over $3,400 that's going to go back in profit directly into the member businesses of the BIA. So we're not, the money is going back into the neighborhood. We have projected it to be $27,000 overall in return on investment, and then we have just taken that number and simply divided by the 8 participating neighborhoods.
So the revenue potentially comes from the purchasing of the tasting or the bus tickets, and why is T-Van, where does T-Van make money?
So T-Van can make money directly, first off, from the advertising space on both the website and the brochure. And second of all, transportation, we did not have access to their finances. So right now our numbers are solely based off the food and revenue sales. So that's something that moving forward is a great idea, and that we would hopefully be able to go out and speak to those companies to further investigate those numbers.
Thank you. One more question. You're almost there. Just want to compliment you as well on the presentation. Great job. And I was looking forward to hearing you after reading your written proposal as well. So well done, ladies. My question is about the BIAs a little bit, just the resources in general. Partnerships is something we've talked about all morning, very, very important in order to get any proposal off the ground. In these regions, in these neighborhoods, there's already some really good existing events that are happening. We have Capilano days and we have Grape days. And how do you propose to, how are you going to get in the door of these neighborhoods and convince them that this is something that they should invest in when they already have their resources sort of in place into existing events and been successful?
Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. So the events that do currently take place, they are all in the summertime, and we did identify a gap between the end of dine out and the high season where there's just not a lot of exciting things going on. We did design this differently so that it would be less of a burden on the member businesses. So instead of, for example, sitting them down for a multi-course meal, you're really just enticing them with a sampler of what they offer and getting that foot traffic to come in. The actual investment from each individual BIA is relatively small. It's like the 6,000 from the member businesses, and because they're operating at a high turnover, you're bringing people in and getting them out much faster than if they were sitting them down for a meal. It's more lucrative and less costly for them to do it that way.
Thank you very much. Great job, ladies. This brings us to